The year is 3204 in the northern divine region's Baidi city. Dark clouds loom overhead, and thunder rumbles across the sky. Amidst the chaos, a lone figure floats in midair, surrounded by crackling lightning. This man is our protagonist, Subai. He stands in the heart of the storm, enduring the divine thunder in hopes of ascending to immortality and entering the land of immortals. Unbeknownst to Subai, danger approaches. A female cultivator, standing upon a lotus flower, prepares a powerful divine thunder technique. With her sword raised, she launches a strike aimed directly at Subai. At the last moment, Subai manages to dodge. Though he avoids a fatal blow, the attack injures him, and he plummets to the ground. The woman descends and points her sword at him, demanding his surrender. She is Lin Wanqiu, one of Subai's own disciples. Subai, shocked and furious, can't believe that his loyal disciple would betray him. Outraged, he prepares a lethal counterattack, but before he can strike, another disciple, Bai Yuyu, launches a sneak attack from behind, piercing a hole through Subai's chest. Bai Yuyu then turns to Lin Wanqiu and insists that, despite their master's many sins, they should at least let him die with some dignity. Subai, gravely wounded, can only laugh at the betrayal. He had never treated his disciples unfairly. How could they do this to him? Enraged, he vows that he will not die alone. If he goes down, he will take them with him. Just as he is about to unleash another technique, a third disciple named Shuer activates the falling treasure copper coin, slamming Subai into the ground. He lies there, immobilized, stunned that even Shuer would side against him. Two other disciples, the eldest and the fifth, are missing, and Subai wonders about their absence. Shuer commands her master not to resist, blaming him for countless crimes that cannot be forgiven, and warning him not to blame anyone else for his fate. Hearing this, Subai only laughs and asks if they truly believe the false charges against him. But now that they have drawn their blades against him, he cannot forgive them. In desperation, Subai uses the divine soul's true body, law of heaven and earth technique, a self-destruction meant to drag his enemies into death with him. Realizing his intention too late, Lin Wanqiu and the others rush to stop him. She frantically asks Bai Yuyu if their senior brother, Heisayo, has a backup plan, because the situation has spiraled beyond control. Regardless of their efforts, they fail to prevent the inevitable. Subai detonates his own soul's true body, obliterating himself, his disciples, and half of the continent in the cataclysmic blast. But that is not the end. When Subai next opens his eyes, he finds himself in a strange, unfamiliar place. As he tries to make sense of his surroundings, he hears frantic noises outside. Peering through a window, he sees a world overrun by a zombie apocalypse, with people fleeing for their lives as hordes of the undead roam the streets. Realizing he has been reborn, Subai's thoughts turn back to his traitorous disciples. Why would they betray him? What did they stand to gain? For now, those questions must wait. His priority is to train this new body to its peak, return to the world of immortal cultivation, and make his former disciples pay for what they did. He attempts to gather spiritual energy as he once did. His cultivation had been close to the immortal realm, so if he can just sense the ambient spirit power, he should be able to progress swiftly. Yet to his shock, he feels nothing. Thinking his body might be too weak, he looks outside again and realizes the truth. This world has no spiritual power at all. Furious, he could hardly believe it. How is this possible? Without spiritual power, there was no way for him to cultivate in this world. In fact, merely surviving here would already be extremely difficult. Just then, a man and a woman burst into the house, having barely escaped from the zombies outside. They looked terrified, as though they had nearly died. The yellow-haired boy immediately grabbed the woman. Another person, possibly named Vertical, tried to stop him, warning that her boyfriend might still be in the house, and that it would be bad if they were seen. The yellow-haired boy scoffed, telling her not to worry. Even if her boyfriend saw them, there was nothing he could do. As he removed his clothes, the woman suddenly noticed a bite mark on his arm, and asked how he got wounded. The boy shrugged it off, saying he might have been bitten by those crazed people on the street, and insisting it was nothing serious. They continued their business until, abruptly, the woman realized the boy had gone still. She asked him what was wrong, urging him to continue, but to her horror, he had turned into a zombie and attacked her. She struggled, barely managing to push him away. Meanwhile, Subai heard the commotion, and wondered if someone else was in the house. Searching through the memories of his new body, he recalled that the woman was supposed to be his girlfriend, and the yellow-haired boy was her lover. Subai smiled bitterly, realizing that the original owner of this body had also been betrayed by those closest to him. Opening the door, Subai saw the now zombified boy lunging at the screaming woman. She noticed Subai and begged for help. He stared at her coldly, said nothing, and watched as the zombie tore into her flesh. Then, without a word, he closed the door behind him, thinking, serves her right. In a world with no spiritual power, Subai knew he had to find a way to survive. Otherwise, he might die here before ever returning to his original world. Sitting on the floor, he tried to retrieve something, anything, from his sea of consciousness that could save his life. Yet with his current cultivation level, Advanced magic items like the 9 Changes Spirit Pellet were beyond reach. All he could do was rely on luck and hope for the best. Finally, he pulled out a low-level magic weapon, the 10,000 Souls banner. Subai was disappointed. How could he have ended up with such a low-level magic weapon? He had hoped to retrieve something that could truly save his life in this chaotic world. Just as his frustration peaked, a blue window suddenly appeared before him. System prompt. It has been detected that the host has obtained the magic weapon 10,000 Souls banner. The host is now bound to the 10,000 Souls banner system. Current system level 1. Capacity 10 souls. Upgrade requirement to level 2. Hunt down an elementary mutant. Curious, Subai wondered what sort of system this could be, especially attached to a mere low-level weapon like the 10,000 Souls banner. As far as he remembered, the banner's only function had been to collect souls. The system then explained that by using the 10,000 Souls banner, he could harvest the souls of the dead, convert their soul power into spiritual power, and feed it back to himself. The higher the banner's level, the stronger the souls it could collect, and thus the more spiritual power Subai would gain in return. There was a catch. Any person who had been dead for more than 5 minutes would have a soul that completely vanished, rendering it uncollectible. Subai smiled. So it really is possible to transform soul power into spiritual power. Even if this world lacked natural spiritual energy, he realized that, with zombies everywhere, there was no shortage of materials to harvest for cultivation. He remembered the girlfriend who had betrayed him and the yellow-haired boy, both now zombies, banging on the door. Subai opened it, and the 2 zombies lunged at him. He swiftly killed them with the 10,000 Souls banner, but to his surprise, they continued moving even after he attacked. At that moment, he activated the banner's true power, collecting their souls and converting them into spiritual energy. Subai was amazed to feel a breakthrough in his cultivation almost immediately. After absorbing their souls, he now had 2 controllable souls at his command, and his spiritual power had grown noticeably stronger. He couldn't help but smile. Despite its humble appearance, the 10,000 Souls banner had proven to be far more powerful than he ever imagined. Sometime later, outside, people were running in all directions, desperately searching for any safe place to hide. In the midst of this chaos, Subai was also looking for supplies. His body was still too weak. I can't do much cultivation in this condition, he thought. First, I need to find some supplies, then consider upgrading the 10,000 Souls banner. Suddenly, a group of zombies perched atop a nearby building heard the commotion below and leaped down into the fleeing crowd. Among them was a plump, blonde-haired woman who panicked upon seeing the zombies heading toward her. In a desperate attempt to save herself, she grabbed another woman from the crowd and threw her at the zombies, using the poor victim as a human shield. Subai happened to witness this horrifying act, and was shocked to recognize that the woman who'd been thrown to the zombies looked exactly like Lin Wangqiu, one of his disciples who had once betrayed him. Furious and confused about her presence here, he quickly summoned the 10,000 Souls banner and killed the zombies attacking her. Lin Wangqiu gasped with relief, grateful to be rescued. How did you end up here? Subai demanded, glaring at her. Not long ago you used the Divine Thunder technique on me, forcing me into a wretched state. Now you can't even protect yourself from a handful of low-level monsters. He could scarcely believe that his former disciple, who had once caused him so much trouble, was now so weak. Yet Lin Wangqiu only stared at him in bewilderment. She had no idea who he was, or what he was talking about, and she couldn't understand how he already knew her name when, to her knowledge, they had never met. Standing up, she thanked Subai for saving her life, and asked if they had met before. Incensed, Subai pointed his spear at her. Don't pretend to be crazy. You won't get away by feigning ignorance. Startled, Lin Wangqiu tried to calm him. This isn't the time for wild accusations. There are more monsters nearby. We should leave and find somewhere safe. Hearing her words, Subai hesitated. Did I get the wrong person? He wondered. Or is she simply not the Lin Wangqiu I once knew? Subai still found it difficult to believe that the woman before him wasn't the traitorous disciple he remembered. She looked identical to Lin Wangqiu, and he was sure he would never mistake her face. Unless, he thought, unless coming to this world caused her to lose her memories. As he moved closer, hoping to investigate, Subai's stomach growled. Lin Wangqiu smiled at the sound, and mentioned there was a large shopping mall not far away. She planned to gather supplies there and possibly take refuge. She invited Subai to join her, and although he hesitated briefly, he eventually agreed, if only to see for himself whether or not she was truly the same Lin Wangqiu. Gripping his hand, Lin Wangqiu urged him to hurry so they could stock up on supplies and wait for rescue. Subai followed her, still torn between suspicion and curiosity. Even if she really has lost her memories, he thought, her betrayal remains. Sooner or later, she'll pay for it. After half an hour, they reached the entrance of a Walmart supermarket. While standing at the front doors, Lin Wangqiu asked for Subai's name. Hearing this, Subai realized she truly seemed unaware of who he was. She wasn't faking her confusion at all. He refused to let his guard down. Stepping past her, he answered curtly, Subai. Following a brief introduction, Lin Wangqiu invited him to head inside. She suggested they use the store's resources and wait for rescue. But to their surprise, the supermarket was already crawling with zombies, and not just ordinary ones. Among them was a mutated zombie that stood out. It kept mumbling phrases like, "Apply for a card, get 50% off," before slaughtering several normal zombies in its path. Then it charged straight at Subai. Subai smirked as he felt the creature's aura. It's probably at the initial stage of the spiritual sea realm, he realized. That must be an elementary mutant. Lin Wangqiu, terrified, hid behind him, urging him to retreat and find safety elsewhere. But Subai saw this as an opportunity, not a threat. A sacrifice that could help him upgrade his 10,000 souls banner to level 2. Summoning the banner, he commanded 2 zombie slaves he controlled to attack the mutant. The supermarket erupted into chaos as his zombies clashed with the others, killing them one by one. However, the mutated zombie soon noticed Subai's slaves and charged in to attack. Subai quickly ordered them to pull back, but the mutant was too quick and killed one of his zombie slaves. Seeing an opening, Subai launched a sneak attack from behind. At the same time, his remaining slave, a female zombie, leaped onto the mutant's back and bit into its neck. The mutated zombie roared in pain. Subai quickly ordered his slave zombie to slam it into the ground, knocking it unconscious. Then, he activated the 10,000 souls banner to absorb its soul, making it his newest slave. Right after absorbing the mutated zombie, a system window appeared before him. System prompt: "Congratulations on defeating an elementary zombie. The 10,000 souls banner has been upgraded to level 2. New capacity 5 additional souls. Next upgrade requirement: hunt down an advanced zombie, a foundation stage beast." Subai frowned at the new requirement. "My current cultivation is still at the spiritual sea realm. To defeat a foundation stage beast, I'll need to absorb more spiritual power first." Meanwhile, Lin Wangqiu was awestruck by Subai's display of strength. She had originally dismissed him as some crazed individual, never imagining he was this powerful. Watching her childish admiration, Subai found it hard to believe she could be the same disciple who had once betrayed him and nearly ended his life. With the mutated zombie defeated, the survivors who had been hiding in the supermarket cautiously emerged. Relieved that the threat was gone, they began redistributing supplies and preparing to wait for rescue in relative safety. There seemed to be enough resources to sustain them for a while. Lin Wangqiu turned to Subai, pointing out how large the stockpile of supplies was. "If we use this wisely, we can stay hidden in a safe place until the rescue team arrives," she suggested. However, the other survivors were not so welcoming. One man stepped forward, glaring at Lin Wangqiu and Subai. "This is our territory," he declared. "You can't just help yourselves to our supplies without our permission." Several others quickly agreed with him, insisting that they had risked their lives to gather everything during the chaos. They weren't about to let newcomers take advantage of their hard work. Lin Wangqiu bristled at their accusations and shouted back, "If Mr. Subai hadn't killed that mutated zombie, all of you would have been sitting ducks, waiting to die. Now you want to claim these supplies for yourselves and ignore the fact that he saved your lives." However, they didn't believe him. They said he was as thin as a bamboo pole. How could someone like that kill a monster? In their opinion, the monsters must have killed each other. Lin Wangqiu shouted, unable to believe how shameless those people were. Before she could say anything more, Subai stopped her and warned her not to argue with mindless people, reminding her that words alone wouldn't change anything. Lin Wangqiu looked at Subai and insisted that he was the one who had obviously defeated those monsters. She couldn't let anyone else take advantage of his hard work. Subai simply smiled and said, "Only the weak use such petty tricks. The strong are always right." He cast a cold gaze over the crowd and announced that he needed supplies, asking who was in favor and who was against it. They all opposed him, telling Subai there were many of them and only one of him, so he couldn't win. They advised him to leave peacefully, hinting that if he angered them, they wouldn't be responsible for what might happen. Subai only smiled and said that if he couldn't get supplies peacefully, he would have no choice but to kill them. Once they were dead, all the supplies would be his. He summoned his mutated zombies and ordered them to attack. Terrified, the crowd begged Subai to spare them, promising he could take all the supplies he wanted as long as they could keep their lives. But he didn't care. He killed those who had threatened him. The rest fled in terror, trying to save themselves. Standing confidently, Subai asked if anyone else wanted to stop him. No one dared say a word. They stood silently, too afraid to even lift their heads. Then Subai turned to Lin Wangqiu and told her to take whatever she wanted. No one would dare oppose them now. She nodded and began collecting supplies. After stuffing her bag, she asked if Subai needed anything. He smiled and said that in return for saving her, all he wanted was help carrying some supplies. Secretly, he was testing her to see if she really had amnesia, or was only pretending. Lin Wangqiu agreed, packing his share of the supplies. Subai was confused. He didn't know if she really was his disciple Lin Wangqiu, or if he himself had lost his memory. After a few minutes, she finished packing and asked whether they should stay and wait for rescue or head elsewhere. Subai turned to leave, saying he planned to look for stronger zombies to hunt. All she needed to do was follow him with the supplies. Lin Wangqiu nodded and followed him. Once they were gone, everyone else breathed a sigh of relief. Even so, they couldn't believe Subai had dared to kill people so casually. They agreed to report him to the authorities if rescue ever came, insisting that someone like him should be brought to justice. But now that he was gone, they gathered around what remained of the supplies dividing them up as quickly as possible before any other danger appeared. In the midst of their squabbling, oblivious to the threat looming behind them, Subai's 2 zombie servants crept up, ready to attack. Just then, one man in the crowd noticed the zombies and freaked out, running as fast as he could to save himself. Unfortunately, it was already too late. The zombies charged forward and took down everyone one by one. A blonde, overweight woman remained alive for a moment, terrified and pleading for help, but the zombies spotted her and crushed her head underfoot. Once the massacre ended, Subai gathered their souls and converted them into spiritual power. He knew leaving survivors would only cause him trouble in the future. Now that he could control 3 undead, Subai felt a bit safer. He was well aware that if he ever had to face more than 10 zombies at once, he'd have no choice but to retreat. Until his level rose, he would keep a low profile. Meanwhile, Lin Wangqiu, who had been following him, was exhausted. She asked if they could rest somewhere, but Subai told her he had no time to waste. If she slowed him down, he would leave her behind. Embarrassed, Lin Wangqiu insisted that she believed Mr. Subai would never abandon her. He smiled and asked why she was so sure, reminding her that they were strangers, and he could do as he pleased. Lin Wangqiu confidently replied that she knew the location of the powerful zombie he was looking for. Intrigued, Subai asked how she knew. Lin Wangqiu explained that, back at her university, she fled the campus after spotting a strange creature near the lake. It gave off an unusual scent, and she was certain it was dangerous. Nervously, she admitted she wasn't sure it was the advanced zombie Subai sought, but it certainly seemed formidable. Hearing this, Subai reasoned that if it was anything like the mutant beast in the supermarket, it was worth investigating. He told Lin Wangqiu to lead the way. Pleased that he believed her, Lin Wangqiu happily guided him toward the campus. Sometime later, the 2 of them finally reached their destination, but the campus was overrun with zombies. Lin Wangqiu stopped, scanning the surroundings anxiously. Seeing her hesitate, Subai asked why she had stopped yet again. Lin Wangqiu whispered for him to lower his voice. So many people at the school had turned into those creatures, and if they accidentally drew attention, they'd be in huge trouble. Subai told her not to worry, declaring he would handle the situation. He summoned his zombie servants and ordered them to clear a path. Lin Wangqiu, concerned, warned him they should do this quietly instead of being so reckless. But Subai ignored her protests, wondering what had happened to the world to turn so many humans into these half-human, half-ghost monsters. Suddenly, they heard noises behind them. Lin Wangqiu recognized the voices. It sounded like her classmates. They had ventured outside for supplies but were now trapped among the campus zombies. One of her classmates, terrified, hurled his weapon at a charging zombie, but missed. The zombie kept coming. Yet another student arrived just in time and killed it. The student who saved him then grabbed the frightened boy, urging him to run back and regroup, because these monsters were way beyond their league. Lin Wangqiu realized these 2 were Gu Ming and Li Mingxuan, her classmates, though she couldn't fathom why they would be here of all places. Subai noticed her reaction and asked if she knew them. When Lin Wangqiu admitted they were her schoolmates, he turned to her and said, "Do you want me to save them or not?" Lin Wangqiu held Subai's hand and said, "While they're distracting the monsters, we can escape quickly. If the monsters spot us, we won't be able to leave." Subai then asked her, "Don't you want to save them? They're your classmates, aren't they?" Lin Wangqiu replied, "If I could help them, I would. But right now, I can't risk your life." Upon hearing this, Subai realized that if she had been the treacherous disciple from his past, she would never have said such a thing. She truly seemed to be just an ordinary girl. However, before they could leave, the very thing Lin Wangqiu feared happened. Her classmates noticed her and called out for help. Lin Wangqiu became furious. She couldn't believe that Li Mingxuan, one of her classmates, was desperately shouting amid so many zombies, potentially dragging them all down with him. All the noise quickly drew the zombies' attention. Panicking, Lin Wangqiu burst into tears and apologized to Subai for getting him involved. In response, Subai summoned his enslaved zombies to fight. Boasting that he had once slain the 9th demon lord of the underworld, he declared that these lowly undead were not worthy opponents. Although his summoned zombies managed to kill many of them, there were simply too many. Subai lost 2 of his contracted zombies, and his mutated zombie was also in trouble. He realized that dealing with 10 zombies at once was already his limit given his current strength. If they wanted to turn the tide and survive, he needed to lure some of the zombies away. He asked Lin Wangqiu if there was anything nearby that could produce a loud sound. Lin Wangqiu remembered her smartphone and handed it to Subai, who had never seen such a device before. He was baffled by the idea that a small box could make a loud noise. Instead of explaining, Lin Wangqiu simply turned on the phone's music. Subai was astonished by how loud the sound was coming from what he called a small metal box. Drawn by the blaring music, many of the zombies attacking the mutated zombie turned their attention towards Subai. Overjoyed by this new magical tool, he threw the smartphone to his mutated zombie slave. The mutated zombie caught the phone and started running, drawing most of the horde away. With so many zombies in pursuit of the mutated zombie, Subai and his remaining undead were free to dispatch the remaining threats one by one. Lin Wangqiu was amazed that such a simple trick had worked. However, Subai grabbed her hand and reminded her they had no time to celebrate. They needed to leave before more zombies arrived. Moments later, Both of them managed to escape safely to the classroom building. Once they were out of danger, Lin Wangqiu thanked Subai again for saving her life. She admitted that without him, she would never have made it this far. Subai replied that it was no big deal. She had helped him locate an advanced zombie, and in return, he had saved her. Both of them benefited. Not long after, Lin Wangqiu's classmates also managed to escape safely, thanks to Subai's zombies having distracted and slain most of the undead. However, they quickly noticed that Lin Wangqiu was carrying a large bag of supplies. They were thrilled to see Lin Wangqiu return with so many supplies. With that amount, they believed they could wait for a rescue team to arrive. However, Lin Wangqiu scoffed and reminded everyone that these supplies were obtained by Mr. Subai, and she had no right to distribute them on his behalf. Li Mingxuan was furious. He told Lin Wangqiu that there was no point in distinguishing yours and his in a crisis like this. Other students also needed these supplies to survive. Another one of Lin Wangqiu's classmates, sensing the tense atmosphere, stepped in and suggested they all stop arguing and return to the classroom first. They could decide how to distribute the supplies once they were somewhere safer. Turning to Subai, he also invited him to join them, saying they should all stick together in times like these. Subai and Lin Wangqiu followed them back to the classroom. On the way, Lin Wangqiu apologized to Subai for the trouble, but assured him that she would not let anyone touch his share of the supplies. Subai told her not to worry. His only goal was to find the advanced zombie. Still, he asked how she could be certain these people would listen to her. She replied that there were many teachers among the survivors, so nobody would dare do anything extreme. Subai simply smiled and said they had better behave, or he couldn't guarantee their safety. Meanwhile, the bold student whispered to Li Mingxuan that he had seen the bag was full of food. With so many supplies, they could sustain themselves for at least a month until rescue arrived. Li Mingxuan nodded, but worried that Lin Wangqiu wouldn't agree. And then there was also the matter of Subai. Another student chimed in, saying that now they were back on their territory, Lin Wangqiu and Subai couldn't simply refuse. If they cooperated, they might receive something in return. If not, they would have to deal with them the hard way. Moments later, they arrived at the classroom door. Li Mingxuan called out to the teacher to open up, announcing they had brought supplies. The teacher, relieved to see them safe, invited everyone inside and asked for the supplies to be handed out. As Subai entered, he noticed that many survivors were present. They had managed to avoid the zombies so far, perhaps because the undead hadn't swarmed this area yet. The same bold student pressed Lin Wangqiu to distribute the supplies right away, complaining that they hadn't eaten anything for 3 days. Gritting her teeth in frustration, Lin Wangqiu said she would only give out half. Mr. Subai owned the other half, and they had no right to touch it. Li Mingxuan scoffed and asked why a single person needed so much food. He offered to buy Subai's share at 10 times the market price. Looking at Subai, he asked if he minded selling. Subai smiled and agreed. In that moment, Li Mingxuan tried to claim all of Lin Wangqiu's supplies, forgetting that Subai was no pushover. Subai promptly summoned his mutated zombie slave, ready to attack Li Mingxuan. Seeing the monster appear inside the classroom, everyone panicked and scrambled for safety. Only then did they realize the zombie seemed to be under Subai's control. Subai grabbed Li Mingxuan by the collar and snarled that, because of Li Mingxuan's earlier actions, he had lost 2 undead minions. Yet Li Mingxuan still dared to demand Subai's supplies. Li Mingxuan apologized profusely and begged for his life. Subai asked, "Should I kill you? Or should I take your soul to make up for my losses?" Terrified, Li Mingxuan pleaded with his classmates Zhang Hao and Gu Ming to intercede, since they were the ones who had come up with the plan in the first place. Zhang Hao and Gu Ming quickly denied any involvement, insisting it was all Li Mingxuan's idea, and that he alone should bear the blame. Li Mingxuan was shocked at the betrayal, cursing them for abandoning him. He turned to Lin Wangqiu, begging her to ask Subai to spare him. He promised he would never try to steal supplies again. Subai was curious how Lin Wangqiu would react. Surprisingly, she apologized on Li Mingxuan's behalf and asked Subai to forgive him just this once for everyone's sake. She said they could take her share of the supplies, but no one was to touch Subai's. Watching her selfless behavior, Subai realized that she truly might not be the treacherous disciple he once knew, despite her resemblance. Deciding he no longer needed to keep her close, he told Lin Wangqiu that, now that she had found her companions, it was time for him to leave and continue searching for the advanced zombie. But Lin Wangqiu stopped him, claiming that she knew where the creature he was seeking might be. When Subai asked if she had actually seen it, she said no, but she could sense a terrifying presence somewhere in the school. This startled Subai. Her ability to sense spiritual power suggested an innate spiritual physique. He was astonished because, to his knowledge, no one else in the world had such a physique except his lost disciple. Could she truly be that woman, suffering from memory loss, or was there some other explanation? In the original cultivation realm, before Subai was betrayed by his disciples, Lin Wangqiu approached him, requesting to become his disciple. In response, Subai told her that he would only accept her if she found something for him first. Lin Wangqiu successfully found what Subai had asked for, and returned, requesting again to be accepted as his disciple. When Subai asked how she managed to locate it, Lin Wangqiu respectfully bowed before him and replied, "I was born with the ability to track and trace. If you accept me as your disciple, I will be the sword in your hand. I will never let you down. Seeing her determination, Subai accepted her as his second disciple. With her innate spiritual physique, her future achievements would not fall short of his own. However, Lin Wangqiu humbly told him, "My life was saved by you. I would never dream of surpassing you. I only wish to serve by your side and ease your burdens." Subai walked up to her and said, "Stop calling me senior. Now that you're my disciple, you should call me master." That was the moment Subai learned that Lin Wangqiu possessed the innate spiritual physique. Although he wasn't sure how she had lost her past memories, for him, it didn't matter. He was still planning to kill her. He extended his hand to capture her soul and make her his servant, dooming her to eternal soul refinement. But suddenly, Lin Wangqiu grabbed Subai's hand and urgently warned, "That thing I've been sensing, it's really coming this way. We must leave now before it's too late." Hearing this, Subai fell silent. Then, in the next moment, he burst into laughter like a madman, shocking everyone in the room. He thought to himself, "I nearly killed her just now. But this is an innate spiritual physique, a one-of-a-kind rare body. Killing her outright would be such a waste. Rather than that, I'll treat her as a chess piece. Once she outlives her usefulness, I won't shortchange her. She'll have her own place inside the Soul Banner." Meanwhile, the mutated monster Lin Wangqiu had warned about approached the building. It had sensed Subai's spiritual energy and followed it here, to where Subai and the others were gathered. This mutated creature was intelligent, and it had recently been lucky enough to absorb a trace of spiritual energy to recharge its core. If not for that, it too would have eventually turned into one of those half-human, half-ghost abominations. When it detected the presence of spiritual energy in this barren world, it was thrilled. Finally, a chance to break through to the next realm. Standing in front of the university building, the mutated beast looked up, then leaped straight through the upper floor, crashing into the room where Subai and the others were. Seeing the creature, Subai thought, "Is this the powerful entity Lin Wangqiu mentioned? A mutated snake demon?" But as he observed it more closely, something felt off. This mutated beast's aura, it felt familiar. The students in the room panicked, screaming and trying to escape, but to their horror, the door was locked. They couldn't get out. Lin Wangqiu pointed at the beast and exclaimed, "This is the same creature I saw by the man-made lake. It has the same aura I've been sensing all this time." Subai was surprised. This mutated snake demon, it actually possesses spiritual energy? This isn't some ordinary mutant. This is a demon beast from the cultivation realm. But then he wondered, why would such a creature appear in a place like this? The mutated snake demon sneered and spoke. "Even though this world lacks spiritual energy and is crawling with ghostly pests, it's far more fun than that wretched cultivation realm. I can feast on humans freely here, without interference from those damned cultivators." It grabbed one of the students to devour. The terrified student cried for help. The teacher, Bai Ling, turned to Lin Wangqiu and begged her to ask Subai to save the students. If he can protect them, she will do anything he asks. Subai glanced at her coldly and said, "Whether I can or not is beside the point. What do their lives have to do with me?" Still desperate, the teacher pleaded, "I'll pay you a lot of money. Just save them." But Subai rejected her offer. "I'm not interested in money. Don't worry. Once you're all dead, I'll collect your souls." As the snake demon devoured the student, Subai ordered his mutated zombie to attack. The zombie leapt into the air and struck from behind, knocking the mutated snake demon to the ground. As the beast lay unconscious, the zombie jumped on top of it to finish it off. But suddenly, the snake demon's eyes flew open. It extended its tongue, wrapping it tightly around Subai's zombie. Staring at Subai, it said, "I knew it. My nose wasn't wrong. There really is spiritual energy here. Unbelievable. A cultivator in this world? Their strength may be weak, but it's enough." Just as it grew excited, Subai's zombie kicked its mouth, freeing itself from the demon's tongue grip. Subai smirked. "So the mutated snake demon is coming for me after sensing my spiritual energy? Doesn't matter. I'll just take it down." A monster in the foundation stage. In the past, this kind of trash wouldn't have been worthy of Subai's attention. But now, when his cultivation is only at the spiritual sea realm, he had to be more cautious. These people, killing them and refining their souls might just be enough for him to break through. Turning to them, he coldly announced, "Unfortunately, in my current condition, I can't handle that thing. You're all on your own. If you're willing to join my 10,000 souls banner and help me break through, there may be a sliver of hope." He smirked, saying, "Of course you can refuse. But if you do, I'll leave, and no one can stop me. What happens after that won't be my responsibility." Everyone sat frozen in silence, terrified. No one dared to speak. Seeing that no one was willing to sacrifice themselves, Subai turned to leave. Lin Wangqiu tried to stop him, but before she could, her teacher, Li, stepped forward and said, "I'll sacrifice myself. In exchange, please take my students to safety." At that moment, Subai noticed a glowing purple crystal hanging around Teacher Li's neck. His eyes narrowed, realizing that, a spiritual stone. He grabbed the crystal and asked coldly, "Where did you get this?" Teacher Li hesitated for a second before replying that her father found it by chance, many years ago. Seeing Subai's obvious interest, Teacher Li handed him the stone and begged to, "Please, just protect her students." Inspecting it closely, Subai confirmed, This is indeed a product of the immortal realm. The quality isn't low either. The spiritual power inside, it's on par with a top-grade spiritual stone. But what puzzled him was, how did something like this end up in this world? Could it be that his and Lin Wangqiu's rebirth here wasn't a coincidence? If that's true, then maybe his other disciples are here too. Just then, the system detected the spiritual stone and prompted, "Would you like to use this item to enhance the 10,000 souls banner? Doing so will increase your control level over undead by 1 tier." Subai was stunned. He didn't expect that this spiritual stones can directly upgrade the banner. He made a mental note that he need to collect more of these in the future. He accepted the item and agreed to Teacher Li's request, telling her to wait here and don't run. Meanwhile, the mutated snake demon, enraged after being attacked by Subai's mutated zombie, roared, "How dare you steal from me!" It charged straight at Subai, intending to kill and refine him to boost its own cultivation. But Subai had already begun absorbing the spiritual stone's energy. He commanded his zombie to block it and don't let it get close. The zombie charged in, but the mutated snake demon dodged easily. Grabbing the zombie, it slammed him into a nearby wall. Then it noticed something. Subai's aura. It was rapidly growing stronger. He was breaking through. The snake demon growled in panic. "If I don't stop him now, it'll be a problem later. But before that, I need to squash this bug." It punched Subai's zombie, sending him flying out of the building. Now, rid of the distraction, the demon laughed and charged toward Subai. But just as it approached, its entire body froze. A primal fear surged up, warning it. "Danger." Subai smiled, his body glowing with spiritual light. "My 10,000 souls banner needs a foundation beast for sacrifice," he said calmly. "And that's you." The mutated snake demon was stunned. "Ask what is happening." Suddenly, Subai's mutated zombie, now evolved from ordinary class to evolutionary class, returned. Towering over the snake demon, it grabbed the creature by the neck. Subai gave the command it to kill him. The zombie stabbed its sharp claws into the demon's chest, piercing clean through. Then it lifted the demon into the air and hurled it across the building. But just before falling, the mutated demon clung to the edge and caught itself. Breathing heavily, it realized that it underestimated Subai. It didn't expect him to break through mid-battle. Still, it wasn't ready to give up. He roared that, "It's not enough to defeat me." And with wild rage, it let out a piercing cry, summoning the nearby zombies to swarm in and help it kill these humans. Just then, Li Mingxuan transformed into a half-human, half-snake demon and killed both of his friends. The other students were shocked to see Li Mingxuan slaughter his fellow classmates. One of the students cried out, "Why would he do this?" Li Mingxuan smirked and replied with a chilling grin that he had tolerated all of them long enough. He smiled and asked that, "Doesn't it feel good to be betrayed?" He turned toward the remaining students and charged at them, intent on killing everyone. The students screamed and scattered, desperately trying to escape. Some even begged, "Li Mingxuan, please, let us go, spare our lives." But he didn't listen. He was enjoying the feeling of ruling over mere ants. Seeing this horrifying massacre, Teacher Li collapsed to the ground, her voice trembling. Why did it end up like this? Terrified, Lin Wangqiu turned to Subai and asked, "What happened to Li Mingxuan?" Subai simply smiled. He didn't expect to see a human willingly become a beast's servant, but this development suited him perfectly. The more that die, the better. It saves him the effort. They'll all become part of his 10,000 souls banner eventually. As Li Mingxuan prepared to kill the last student, Teacher Li stepped in and shouted, "Stop! I can't let you go on like this." Li Mingxuan grabbed her by the collar and hissed, "You want to die too? Fine. I'll grant your wish and kill you first." Just as he raised his claws, Subai intervened. He pulled Teacher Li back. Lin Wangqiu told her urgently, "There's no way to appease everyone in this situation. Right now, we need to survive. And the only one who can help us is Mr. Subai." Though Subai didn't care about the others, Teacher Li was a different matter. He needed her alive. If he wanted to find the source of the spiritual stone, she had to lead him there. Subai then unfurled his 10,000 souls banner and began absorbing the souls of all the dead students. Li Mingxuan was stunned. He had waited so long for his master to appear, and now nothing could stop him. He glared at Subai and charged at him, shouting, "You think you can do anything without your monster's protection?" Subai calmly smiled and summoned the very students Li Mingxuan had just killed. Their ghostly forms lunged at him, trying to drag him into the 10,000 souls banner. Li Mingxuan was confused. "How are they alive? I just killed them moments ago." Then he realized, they weren't alive. They were just wandering spirits, reanimated by Subai's power. "There's no time to waste on them," he growled. Meanwhile, the mutated snake demon watched Subai's 10,000 souls banner and scoffed. "You're planning to use that trash weapon on me? Do you think I'm made of mud?" Subai chuckled. "You have no idea who I am, and my 10,000 souls banner still needs a dead soul like you as sacrifice." At the same time, Li Mingxuan managed to partially free himself from the grasp of Subai's zombies and ran toward the mutated snake demon for help. The demon scowled. "Just my luck. I finally meet an immortal cultivator, and he turns out to be a demon cultivator? These puppets he controls are strange and dangerous. If I don't act quickly, I'm in trouble." Although he had already broken through to the Foundation realm, he knew that continuing the fight might end badly. At worst, I won't get any spiritual energy, and I'll die too. Desperate, he grabbed Li Mingxuan and growled, I gave you power. Now it's time to repay me. Then he hurled Li Mingxuan toward Subai to buy himself some time to escape. But before he could flee, Subai gave the order to attack. His mutated zombie leapt high into the air and came crashing down onto the snake demon, slamming him into the ground. The zombie grabbed the demon and restrained him, locking down all movement. You're not going anywhere. Just as the mutated snake demon struggled to break free, Subai made his move. He transformed several of his zombies into stone statue form, anchoring them into the demon's limbs, binding its hands and feet so tightly it couldn't move an inch. The demon let out a pained roar, its body shaking violently. Blood oozed from the cracks in its scaled flesh as it cried out in fury and humiliation. I admit defeat. For today, it hissed, its voice trembling with suppressed rage. But don't think this is enough to hold me forever. In a desperate move, the demon's main body detached from the larger snake host and fled into the distance like a dark shadow melting into the horizon. Li Mingxuan, who had just barely survived, watched the escape in panic. Don't leave me behind. I haven't escaped yet. But before he could move, the remaining students, those who had narrowly survived his betrayal, surrounded him, cold hatred burning in their eyes. Karma always comes back around, one muttered. You really think you'll walk away after killing so many of us? Fear flooded Li Mingxuan's eyes as he stumbled back. Stay away. I'll kill you if you come any closer. I swear. But the crowd no longer feared him. They descended on him without mercy, fists and feet replacing words. Li Mingxuan died the same way he lived, violently and utterly alone. Nearby, Lin Wangqiu turned toward Subai, her voice filled with disbelief. That monster. We're really just letting it go. Subai only smirked. It's just a lowly snake demon. Does it really believe it can escape my spiritual sense? Far away, the mutated snake demon, now free from its bindings, let out a long breath. It had narrowly escaped death, but one question clawed at his mind. Where did that demonic cultivator come from? Then a chilling realization crossed his thoughts. Could he too have been pulled into this world through the chaotic spatial rift? Just like me, he scoffed. Doesn't matter. I'm free now. A Foundation establishment cultivator like him, he'll never find me. But he was wrong. Before he could take another step, a shadow fell over him. Subai appeared directly behind him. Try running again, he said coldly. Let's see if you can escape my spiritual sense now. Terror flooded the snake demon's expression. His whole body trembled. He could not understand. How did he track me this fast? How strong is his spiritual sense? Subai didn't waste time. He ordered his mutated zombies forward. As the beast tried to flee, lunged in, grabbing the demon's legs and arms, pinning it down. The mutated zombie struck its vital point, sealing its core. The snake demon howled in agony, completely paralyzed. If I can't live in peace, none of you will, the demon bellowed. He activated his final skill, Serpent Shadow Clone. Dozens of shadowy snake clones burst forth, swarming towards Subai. Laughing, the demon mocked, your soul banner is useless now. Once I devour you, your puppets will vanish. But Subai showed no concern. He raised his 10,000 souls banner, calmly scanned the illusions, and in a flash, stabbed the real body. The snake demon gasped. How did you see through it? Not even nascent soul cultivators could. Subai's expression remained unchanged. If you weren't still useful, I would have shattered your soul already. With that, he unleashed the soul-binding power of the banner. Black tendrils wrapped around the demon's very spirit. You'll never get me, the demon roared. I'll destroy my soul before I serve you. In a final act of defiance, it attempted to self-destruct its soul. But once again, it had underestimated Subai. With a single thought, Subai activated his spiritual sense manifestation. His soul form materialized in front of the demon, grabbing and stopping the detonation mid-explosion. The snake demon stared in horror. That pressure. You're not Foundation establishment, his voice cracked. Soul formation? The truth hit him like a blade to the chest. He had offended a soul formation powerhouse. He dropped to his knees, pleading, don't kill me. I was wrong. But his pleas fell on deaf ears. The 10,000 souls banner absorbed his soul in its entirety. System notification. Congratulations. You have slain an evolved level creature. Soul banner has leveled up to level 3. Max controllable souls. 10. New feature unlocked. Enhancement mode. You can now feed spiritual energy-infused objects to your undead souls to boost their strength. Subai stood silently, staring at the faint glow of the soul banner. He was amazed. He hadn't expected that spirit stones could be directly fed to the undead. If that was true, then as long as he had enough stones, he could rapidly forge a powerful undead army. In that case, he thought, gathering spirit stones must become a top priority. Once he gained enough strength to protect himself in this chaotic world, it would be time to visit his loyal little disciples. Meanwhile, back at the university, Teacher Li turned to Lin Wangqiu, her voice laced with concern. Subai went after that monster. Isn't he in danger? But Lin Wangqiu replied calmly, don't worry. Mr. Subai will be totally fine. A monster like that is no match for him. Teacher Li let out a quiet sigh of relief, but curiosity soon crept into her eyes. You seem to trust him a lot. He doesn't appear to be a student here. How did you meet him? Lin Wangqiu hesitated for a moment before speaking. When I ran out of the school during the chaos and was about to be attacked by monsters, he saved me. Her eyes flickered with a strange emotion. When I first met him, I felt something odd, a strange sense of familiarity, like I've seen him before. Just then, Subai returned. Lin Wangqiu ran toward him. Mr. Subai, are you hurt? He pushed her gently aside and replied coldly, a low-level demon like that? There's no way it could hurt me. Then he turned to Teacher Li. Do you know where to get more of those spirit stones? Teacher Li looked apologetic. That one belonged to my father. I don't really know where he found it. If you want answers, you'll have to ask him yourself. Subai narrowed his eyes. She hesitated again, then spoke cautiously. If you truly want to find him, we'll have to make another deal. The last time I spoke with him was 3 days ago. He was trapped somewhere, waiting for rescue. If you want that information, we'll have to find him first. Subai's face darkened. This woman, is she trying to use me to save her father? If the old man had knowledge about spirit stones, it would be worth the time. Fine, he said. I'll go with you, but listen carefully. If I find out you're lying to me, not only will you die, but everyone else will too, including your father. Teacher Li trembled under his gaze but nodded quickly. Understood. I'm sure my father won't disappoint you. She then turned to her surviving students. We're leaving with Mr. Subai. There was a wave of relief among them. They were leaving this nightmare. But not all were so lucky. Many students had died during the chaos. As Subai looked at their bodies, he raised his 10,000 souls banner and summoned their souls. One by one, gasps echoed through the group. The students stared in horror. Even Teacher Li's voice trembled as she asked, "Why are you taking their souls?" Subai turned to her, his expression unreadable. They were going to be wasted otherwise. Now, they reside in the soul banner, my personal puppets. He glanced toward the school gates. Enough talk. Let's go. I don't have time to waste here. Despite the grim nature of it all, Teacher Li bowed slightly. Mr. Subai, if it weren't for you, we'd still be trapped in that classroom. We would have starved, or been torn apart by monsters. Subai scoffed. I didn't do this for free. Everyone got what they needed. Now that he had broken through to the Foundation establishment stage, Subai could feel his divine consciousness gradually recovering. He should now be able to retrieve higher-tier artifacts sealed within his soul domain. Without hesitation, he focused, reaching inward, and suddenly, a brilliant sword appeared before him. Subai's eyes widened. Could it really be fate? Lin Wangqiu stared at the sword. Stunned, something stirred in her heart. I feel like I've seen that sword before. Subai turned to her, expression sharpening. Could this be a sign that her memories are returning? He narrowed his eyes. If this girl truly regains her memories, and realizes she's fallen into the hands of her former master, a lamb remembering her shepherd, just before the slaughter. He threw the sword onto the ground and looked at her. Hold on to it. Lin Wangqiu blinked in surprise. Me? What do I even do with a sword? Are you asking me to fight monsters? Subai nodded. I won't protect you forever. You need to learn to protect yourself. She hesitated. I've never used a sword before. You'll have to teach me later. As she nervously picked it up, her fingers brushed the blade, and flashes of memory surged through her mind. Moments long buried, of a distant mountain sect, her master Subai, and the day she was tested to become his disciple. The pain of betrayal, and the haunting image of a mysterious senior brother whispering lies to her and her senior sister. Lies that turned them against their master. She staggered back slightly, clutching her head. The fragments were blurry, incomplete, but they were returning. That's all for today, everyone. Before we wrap up, I want to let you know that we've recently launched a membership program here, where you can enjoy perks like early access to videos and soon, exclusive content just for members. You'll also receive custom badges and emojis to enhance your interactions. If you're interested, consider joining our membership to enjoy these benefits. Check out the link in the description to join. See you all in the next video. At last, Lin Wangqiu finally saw her master's face, the very master she had betrayed, and he looked exactly like Subai. Seeing the angry gaze of her master, Lin Wangqiu got so frightened that she lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Seeing her suddenly fall, Teacher Li and the others were shocked, but before anyone could help her, Subai, realizing that Lin Wangqiu's memories had returned, immediately raised his soul banner and released his newly controlled snake beast to attack and kill her. Before Lin Wangqiu could even understand or say anything, the snake beast coiled its muscular body around her and began squeezing. Seeing Subai attacking Lin Wangqiu, Teacher Li and her students were too shocked. Teacher Li ran forward, begging Subai to stop, but Subai didn't even flinch. The snake beast continued tightening its grip, suffocating Lin Wangqiu slowly. Lin Wangqiu struggled and somehow managed to free her mouth. While coughing, she said, "Mr. Subai, your monster has gone insane. Please, help me quickly." Subai approached her and pinned down the soul banner right in front of Lin Wangqiu, scaring her. He sat down and asked, "Lin Wangqiu, do you remember now?" Scared and confused, Lin Wangqiu asked, "Remember what? What are you talking about?" Teacher Li pleaded with Subai to save Lin Wangqiu, saying she was a good child. Subai was also confused, not understanding what was going on. Lin Wangqiu's reaction just now didn't seem fake. and he wondered if it could really just be a mere restoration of her memories for a split moment. But he was not sure, so he decided to investigate it himself. He placed his hand on Lin Wangqiu's head and used Soul Search to look into her memories. He saw all of Lin Wangqiu's memories, himself included, but found nothing. He knew that memories couldn't be faked, and wondered if she really had not recalled her past. Both Lin Wangqiu and Teacher Li looked at Subai, scared and confused. After confirming for himself, Subai decided to let her live for now. He stood up, called back the snake beast, which released Lin Wangqiu and returned to the soul banner. Subai then walked away as if nothing had happened, telling Lin Wangqiu, maybe this sword doesn't fit you that well. He took back the sword and told everyone, don't waste time. Teacher Li then turned to her students and told them, it's okay, hurry up and follow. But Lin Wangqiu felt something odd. She couldn't understand why she suddenly called Subai master, and what this sense of familiarity toward him was. Not just her, even Subai was very confused. Wondering if this was all God's will, he decided he would definitely investigate this matter. After walking for a few hours, Teacher Li led them all to a building. Pointing at it, she told Subai, this is one of my family's properties, and my father last contacted me from here. But it looks like he wasn't able to evacuate because of those monsters. Looking at the building, Subai said, if that's the case, let's go check it out. But a student of Teacher Li suggested that they should not go in, and would just wait here for Subai and the others to come out. Other students agreed, saying they might not be able to help Boss Subai if they went in. So, it's better to meet them here again. Subai said, no problem, and told them, since I took you out of the school, my part of the deal has been fulfilled. Where you go now has nothing to do with me. Teacher Li looked at her 3 students who were scared, standing there. She told them, stay here and don't run around. When they come out, we will take you to the official shelter. It's safe there. The students told her not to worry, saying they would definitely stay put. After Teacher Li left with Subai and Lin Wangqiu, those students sighed with relief, saying, we are free. A girl told the others that she didn't dare breathe deeply for fear that Subai would kill them if displeased. Others agreed, saying he was scarier than the monsters. A third person told them both to stop talking for now. They just had to stay quietly here to survive. Meanwhile, Subai, Lin Wangqiu, and Teacher Li approached the building's gate. But before they could enter, Lin Wangqiu sensed something and asked them to wait. She looked to the side and saw something approaching. She told Subai that something seemed to be coming their way, soldiers being chased by zombies. When those soldiers saw Subai and the others, they shouted, go away, this is not a place for you. Don't come close to the monsters. Return immediately. Seeing the soldiers shooting at zombies, Teacher Li told Subai that these people were likely the official rescue team and would know where her father was trapped. Hearing this, Subai decided to keep them alive. He raised his soul banner, summoned his zombies, and ordered them to clear the way. Seeing Subai's zombies, the soldiers misunderstood, thinking monsters were coming from behind to attack. They asked their captain what to do. The captain told his soldiers not to panic and ordered everyone to disperse and avoid getting caught by the monster wave. All the soldiers hid in the cracks between the buildings. After the soldiers got out of the way, Subai's zombies attacked the zombies coming from the front. The mutated zombie swung its sharp claws, slicing hundreds of zombies in one strike. The snake beast wasn't far behind. It opened its huge mouth and devoured the zombies. Seeing Subai's zombies attack the other zombies, the soldiers became confused. One soldier asked his captain why these monsters were fighting each other. Another said he had never seen such a strange thing during missions. Even their captain was confused, asking, what's going on? What kind of fight is this? Subai's monsters continued killing the zombies, making a path for Subai. Soldiers hiding behind walls were very confused. Their captain told them not to be careless and to evacuate now before the monsters noticed them, saying they would only be safe when the awakened were sent in. Hearing that, a soldier said, I heard those people in the bureau praise them for being amazing, but are they really that great? We're all the same in the end. How can they be superior? The captain told that soldier he said that because he hadn't seen their power. He said he once saw an S-level awakened, just one person, fighting against thousands of troops. Hearing about one man fighting thousands of troops, a soldier said, that's too exaggerated. Are they superhumans? Suddenly, a soldier saw Subai and the others walking toward the zombies. Confused, he asked, aren't those the survivors from before? Why aren't the monsters attacking them? It even looks like the monsters are escorting them. Seeing this unusual phenomenon, the soldiers immediately pointed their swords at Subai. The soldiers warned Subai to stand still and answer. Otherwise, they would open fire. But Subai didn't even look at them and continued walking ahead. Seeing this, the soldiers asked their captain if they should open fire. But after seeing Subai controlling the monsters, their captain lowered his gun and told his soldiers to forget it, because this person was not someone they could handle. The captain came out of hiding and asked Subai to wait. He introduced himself as Xiao Changqing, the captain of the 3rd Search and Rescue Team of Z City, and asked Subai if they were the awakened sent by the higher-ups to assist them. Hearing that, Subai finally stopped and looked back, asking the captain what he meant by awakened. The captain replied that Subai was not the one he was referring to, and then tried to ask if Subai was the awakened. But before finishing his sentence, he stopped, thinking that since Subai was not a registered awakened from the bureau, could he be a lone wolf? That would be bad news. Then Teacher Li stepped forward and told the captain that they were here to find someone, her father, Li Zhenghao. Hearing the name, the captain told Teacher Li that Li Zhenghao was on their rescue list. They had been informed that he had important information, so the higher-ups required this person to be rescued. Hearing that, Subai asked the captain if he knew where Li Zhenghao was. The captain said yes, but told Subai that the place was in the heart of the region, and given the current situation, it would be hard for them to rush in there. Just as the captain said this, the walls on their side broke, and more zombies poured out. Because of this new zombie wave, they all got surrounded. Immediately, the soldiers started shooting at the zombies, but it was still not enough. Panicked, the captain turned to Subai, telling him that even if he was not affiliated with the government, they hoped he could lend them a helping hand. He added that it didn't matter if they all died, as long as they could send one person out to pass on the news from here, it would be fine. Subai agreed without hesitation, saying he would get them out of here, but they needed to lead him to the target in exchange. The captain agreed. Subai immediately called his monsters to attack the zombies. The mutated monster and snake monster jumped on the zombies, crushing them to the ground. Subai's mutated monster sliced off hundreds of zombies in one strike, while the snake monster shot fire from its mouth, burning thousands of zombies. The soldiers were shocked to see how strong Subai's monsters were. One soldier asked his captain if this was some kind of superpower, adding, "Isn't this too extreme?" Another asked if all awakened were like this, and if any one of them could destroy everything like this. He added that compared to Subai, what they had in their hands was just a fire stick. With a serious expression, the captain told his soldiers that not all awakened were that strong. This man right in front of them was definitely one of the best. Even among officially registered awakened, he had never seen someone capable of manipulating monsters for his benefit. So Subai's level must be at least sea level. While Subai's monsters were fighting, Lin Wangqiu sensed something and told Subai to watch out, saying something was coming. She pointed above and told Subai that it was coming from the sky. Just as she said that, a huge monster jumped off a building, shouting, "Anyone who enters my territory without my permission will die." A huge night monster landed right in front of them. Seeing the huge night, the soldiers panicked and asked what kind of monster it was, because they hadn't been told about this level existing in this place. When Subai saw the night monster, he immediately recognized the aura of the perfect foundation realm. He hadn't expected a monster of this level to be lurking here. Moreover, it seemed different from the ordinary undead. The night monster pointed his mace at Subai and shouted, "My family, follow me to defeat the invaders." Hearing his voice, all the zombies in that area charged at Subai. Seeing them coming, Lin Wangqiu panicked and asked Subai what they should do now. Subai told everyone to get ready to fight. Even if it meant dying, they would fight the monsters. Subai was very excited to see the night monster, knowing that sure enough, this was a rare undead creature with intelligence. If he could capture its soul and send it into the 10,000 souls banner, there was a high probability that the souls of his subordinates would gain independent consciousness. Subai stepped forward with Lin Wangqiu and Teacher Li and told the soldiers to step back, saying this night monster was his prey. Subai was confident that as long as he captured it, there was hope to create an army of undead with independent intelligence, which would greatly enhance his combat power. He then summoned his monsters and ordered them to attack. Subai's monsters charged at the night monster at super speed. The mutated monster jumped into the air and punched the night monster with full power, blocking its mace with its blackened fist. Taking this opportunity, the snake monster coiled its muscular body around the night monster's leg, making it unable to walk. The night monster looked down and saw that Subai was controlling the undead. Realizing that this human was very dangerous, the night monster became very angry. It released an energy blast from its body, sending all of Subai's monsters flying. The night monster raised its mace and, while gathering energy, shouted, "I'm the lord of the undead. How can a mere human stand against me?" Saying that, the night monster swung its long mace at Subai's monsters, aiming to kill them all in one strike. Seeing the night monster's power, Subai was a little surprised because it looked like the night monster had combat capabilities comparable to at least a Golden Core Realm warrior. Now Subai began to wonder where this undead monster had come from. When that undead monster unleashed his full power, a guy was watching it from afar, standing on the rooftop of a building. Seeing Subai, that guy in glasses smiled, saying, "A sweet prey discovered. My lord will surely be pleased." He called his lord, and suddenly a dark figure appeared in the sky. That glasses guy told his lord that he had found a foundation-building cultivator who could control the dead. Hearing that, his lord ordered the glasses guy to kill and seize his body, saying the spiritual energy in his body was extremely valuable, and if he succeeded, he would be rewarded. Hearing that, the glasses guy laughed and told his lord, "Don't worry, because the Bone Fiend Lord is already hunting him down." On the other hand, that undead monster swung his huge sword to attack Subai. Seeing it coming, Teacher Li and Lin Wangqiu got very scared. The soldiers standing behind started shooting at the undead monster, saying they would fight with everything they had. Lin Wangqiu grabbed Subai's hand, saying that even if she died, she would stay by his side. Seeing the sword coming, Subai closed his eyes and sensed that it was a Golden Core Realm undead lord, but it was just a fake. Its true strength was merely at the peak stage of foundation building, and even though Subai had lost all his cultivation, he was not someone a beast like that could stop. He immediately took out the sword he had given to Lin Wangyu before, then manifested his Dharma body of the peak level. His Dharma body was very huge, and it unleashed itself. Subai used it to cut down the undead monster's sword. This completely shocked the undead monster, and it looked ahead, shocked to see Subai's Dharma body, asking, "How is this possible? How is there a manifestation of the heavens and earth, which is a nascent soul secret technique?" Seeing that, even the soldier's captain got shocked, saying, "This is stronger than any ability user I have ever encountered. This is just insane." A soldier asked the captain, "Are there really ability users this powerful?" But on the other hand, Subai started sweating because he had just barely gathered a bit of spiritual energy, and now, it was all gone. But getting a scaled king in return was worth it, seeing that even a nascent soul secret technique was being used. The undead monster didn't know how he was supposed to fight this, so he immediately turned around and started running away. Seeing it trying to escape, Subai got ready to use another powerful technique. He threw his sword at the undead monster using his Phoenix Fury first. His sword turned into a fire phoenix, and at high speed flew towards the undead monster. Seeing the fire phoenix coming towards him, the undead monster got shocked. He recognized that it was a divine weapon, and with just one cry of the phoenix, he couldn't move a muscle. Now the undead monster regretted asking, "Just what kind of monster have I provoked?" The fire phoenix hit the undead monster in the stomach, piercing a huge hole. Seeing that, everyone was shocked. Lin Wangyu asked Subai, "The thing you just summoned, was that a phoenix?" Soldiers were also quite shocked seeing an ancient divine beast, the golden phoenix. They could not understand just what kind of power Subai had. Subai then raised his soul banner and activated it to seal the undead monster. As the chains of the soul banner went towards the undead monster, it started running away shouting, "Don't even think about enslaving me. I, the Bone Fiend Lord, will never surrender." But before it could run away, the Bone Lord got caught by the chains of the soul banner. Seeing that Bone Lord finally admitted defeat, saying even if it was frustrating, following a nascent soul powerhouse sounded far more promising than sticking with that brat. The soul banner sucked in the Bone Lord and closed its mouth completely, trapping him inside. Immediately, a system notification came congratulating the host for slaying a commander-level creature. With that, the 10,000 Souls banner leveled up. Host's current realm is Chi Refining Stage. 10,000 Souls banner level is 4. Controllable boss level undead is 1. Controllable advanced undead is 2 and could control 5. Controllable normal undead is 10 and could control 20. But before Subai could get happy seeing those notifications, he suddenly started coughing, forcing the manifestation of heaven and earth overexhausted him, and even caused his realm to drop. Seeing him coughing, Lin Wangyu immediately asked if he was okay, but suddenly a voice came from the soul banner. It was the Bone Lord. He addressed Subai as Lord, and offered to help him recover some strength. After seeing Subai stabilizing, the Bone Lord immediately appeared in human size, and transferred some of his spiritual power into Subai. A system notification came telling Subai that his current realm was now mid-stage of foundation building. Seeing that, Subai smiled because it was a step beyond his previous stage of foundation building. He understood that the soul energy in the 10,000 Souls banner gave him extra boosts. Subai turned and told Bone Lord it was quite thoughtful, offering his spiritual power to him. Bone Lord and Subai now knew that since it belonged to his banner, it served him alone, and only hoped he would trust it. Bone Lord was acting like that because after seeing the manifestation of heaven and earth, and that divine weapon infused with phoenix power, it understood that Subai must have been in the nascent soul realm before arriving in this world. And with that foundation, he would surely reach the peak once more. And if it served him well and followed in his footsteps, it too could rise to the top again. Thinking all that, he could not stop himself from laughing. Worried, Lin Wangyu asked Subai again if he was okay, because just now, she saw blood at the corner of his mouth. Seeing her all worried about him, Subai got more confused. He really didn't get why Lin Wangyu and the others tried to assassinate him before the transmigration, but he guessed it didn't matter anymore. The attempt already happened. The reason didn't matter. What mattered now was figuring out this world, and getting more spirit stones. He then turned to the soldier's captain and asked him to take them to see Li Zhenghao. The captain said yes, also addressing him as Lord Subai. But when they turned to leave, they saw that hundreds of zombies had surrendered to them. Seeing that, Subai got annoyed, saying, "These zombies just keep coming." Just then, Bone Lord came out of the soul banner in its spirit form and shouted at the zombies, "Blind beasts, don't you kneel when you see our Lord." Hearing Bone Lord's words, those zombies slowly backed off and created a path for Subai and his team to go. Seeing that, a soldier got too shocked and told his friend that Captain Xiao just said Subai could take on 100 by himself, and he didn't believe it. But this wasn't fighting 100. These zombies were kneeling and showing submission. The soldier said, "This Subai is terrifying. Ability users are like gods." Even Teacher Li was amazed, thinking, "This young man is remarkable. That golden phoenix from earlier, and the ability to harvest and command souls. In this chaotic post-apocalyptic world, could he become the new hero?" Meanwhile, in a faraway house, it was the house of that glasses guy's master. He reported to his master that the Bone Fiend Lord was killed. Hearing that, his master got shocked, saying it's impossible. The glasses guy sent some pictures, telling his master it's the truth. He wouldn't dare make false reports. These were some images captured from the scene. When that glasses guy's master saw the techniques Subai used, he immediately recognized that it was the manifestation of heaven and earth and Phoenix Fury Sword, because he was none other than Subai's disciple, who provoked his other disciples who killed Subai. He immediately recognized that it was his master Subai. He was very angry seeing that his master had arrived in this world too, and his master's progress was faster than his. He knew that he must hurry and find the junior sisters. He told the glasses guy that he recognized this Subai, and ordered the glasses guy to mobilize all his forces and kill him as soon as he stepped into the prison land. He also told the glasses guy that if he failed, then he should kill everyone inside the prison lands. The glasses guy told his master he understood. On the other hand, Subai, along with his team, arrived at the place where Teacher Li's father, Li Zhenghao, was trapped with other survivors. When those survivors saw that there was a group of skeleton zombies outside, they got scared and asked Li Zhenghao what they should do. Li Zhenghao told them not to worry. He had information about the spirit cave, and that they all needed it. It was the prison land that the glasses guy was talking about. They had kidnapped Li Zhenghao and his team to get information about the spirit cave. But suddenly, a guy from Li Zhenghao's team saw Subai and others. He got very excited and asked others to look. Someone was coming to rescue them. He also recognized Teacher Li, and told Li Zhenghao that his daughter was here too. Everyone looked out the window and saw that it was an ability user so powerful that even the zombies were kneeling before him. But as Subai and others were going towards that building, suddenly Lin Wangyu saw something coming towards them and called Subai. It looked like a huge shuriken blade moving very fast. Seeing that, Bone Lord immediately came out, telling his master Subai not to panic and to leave it to him. Bone Lord used his huge mace to block that giant shuriken blade, but just as he blocked it, a skeleton ninja came out and kicked him hard, pushing Bone Lord back. That skeleton ninja recognized Bone Lord and was surprised to see that it wasn't dead, and that it even switched sides. Bone Lord stood beside Subai and told the skeleton ninja that this was his new master. He warned the skeleton ninja to get out of his way quickly if he was smart. Seeing Bone Lord's arrogance, the skeleton ninja smiled and asked, "Who are you to command me?" Skeleton ninja ordered his skeleton subordinates to attack them, saying, "Master said, kill them, and you'll be greatly rewarded." When Subai saw that skeleton ninja, he immediately realized that this skeleton ninja was like the Bone Lord, seemingly at the Golden Core realm, but actually just at the peak of Foundation establishment. He took out the sword from before again, and asked Lin Wangyu to watch closely. He threw the sword at the skeleton ninja and used his phoenix cry. The whole sword turned into a fire phoenix and charged at the skeleton ninja. Seeing that fire phoenix, Lin Wangyu got a familiar feeling, but she didn't understand why she couldn't remember anything. When the skeleton ninja saw the fire phoenix, he realized that it was a divine artifact, but it was already too late, and neither the skeleton ninja nor his subordinates could move. Subai knows that there is no need to further exhaust himself. At Foundation Establishment mid-stage, wielding Phoenix Cry, he can already defeat those at the peak of Foundation Establishment. He told Bone Lord that now the skeleton ninja is all his. Hearing that, Bone Lord got very excited, saying that's just what he wanted. He thanked his master for giving him this chance. Bone Lord immediately jumped at the skeleton ninja to destroy him with his own hands. Because of the fire phoenix, the skeleton ninja could not escape. It got hit by Bone Lord's mace, and its head went flying. Immediately, a system notification came congratulating Subai for killing a commander-level creature. His experience points increased. Seeing that his experience increased but there was no level up, Subai got a little disappointed. On top of that, the level 4 10,000 Souls banner can still only control one boss-level undead. But Subai didn't think much of it, and asked Bone Lord if it could handle this skeleton ninja's golden body. Hearing that, Bone Lord got surprised. Subai told Bone Lord that maybe it would help him break through to the next level. Hearing that, Bone Lord got very happy and thanked Subai for his grace, saying he would serve him with utmost loyalty, even unto death. Immediately Bone Lord started devouring the skeleton ninja's body. He was laughing at the skeleton ninja because, thanks to joining Master Subai, he survived. Otherwise, it would have been the one getting devoured. As Bone Lord devoured the skeleton ninja's body, its whole body got full of energy. He laughed and told Subai that after consuming the skeleton ninja, its power was now firmly at the Golden Core realm, and if it encountered this blood zombie again, it could take on 10 of them. Seeing that Subai killed the skeleton ninja with one strike, the people trapped in that building got very happy, thinking they were saved. A guy said, "This young man is the most powerful ability user I have ever seen." But suddenly, a shadow landed on top of that building's rooftop, and seeing that, everyone stopped talking. Before they could do anything, that shadow broke the glass window of the building, scaring all the people trapped inside. That shadow was a huge bird-like monster, whose whole body was made of Boke. That Boke birdman roared and sent out a sound wave so powerful that it broke all the glass windows of the building. As the sound wave went towards Subai and others, Bone Lord came forward to protect them, telling Subai to be careful. When Subai saw that this Birdman was a genuine golden core realm with full spiritual energy, he got very excited, thinking if he could kill it, he would surely break through to the peak of Foundation Establishment, and the 10,000 Souls banner would also break through to level 5. On the other hand, people trapped inside the building got very scared seeing that it was the Bone Birdman. They started shouting that they were done for, that they were all finished. They thought even Subai, who slew the skeleton ninja, might be powerless against the Bone Birdman, because the team of ability users who rescued them earlier killed zombies like they were chickens. But when the Bone Birdman appeared, they were instantly killed. It took less than 5 seconds. All 12 ability users died without even putting up a fight. After sensing the Bone Birdman's power, even Lin Wangyu got scared, thinking it was over. They were truly finished. On the other hand, inside the building, when Teacher Li's father saw everyone panicking, he asked everyone to please hold on a bit longer. They must believe in the young man by her daughter Jingya's side. That glasses guy was also there, looking at them from a faraway building. He was the one controlling all those monsters who attacked Subai. He was very excited because his master wanted him to kill Subai, but didn't believe he could. So the glasses guy had decided to kill Subai and show his master. That's why he summoned the Bone Birdman, a golden core realm monster with 5 clones, each with different abilities. He smiled and waited to see how Subai would handle this. When that Bone Birdman saw that Subai was a Foundation Establishment mid-stage cultivator, he laughed, saying, "Such delicious flesh and blood. Today, he shall become my food." The Bone Birdman then raised his huge wings and used his powers. Just as he flew into the sky, he split into 5 Bone Birdmen with different colored wings. As all 5 of those Bone Birdmen flew above Subai, the Red-Wing Bone Birdman roared loudly, sending a very powerful sound wave at them. That Red-Wing Bone Birdman's power was sound, and the sound it created was so loud that everyone immediately fell to the ground. Their heads started hurting like crazy. Even Bone Lord's head was hurting. He told Subai that this Birdman was his previous master's trump card puppet, with the strongest power. The one making the sound now is the Sonar Birdman, and there's also Venom, Blade, Bronze Wall, and Titan. Hearing that, Subai got worried because of that sound. Though Subai was not in pain like Lin Wangyu, his internal spiritual energy was being suppressed. If the others attacked simultaneously now, it would be quite troublesome. So Subai immediately raised his soul banner and told Bone Lord that since it said it could take on 10, he would leave this to him. Bone Lord immediately jumped at the Bone Birdman, telling Subai to leave it to him. Bone Lord immediately jumped to attack the Red Birdman, but the Yellow Birdman used its huge wings to block his mace. Then the Blue Birdman came and shot blade-like wings at Bone Lord. While both of them were fighting, the Purple Birdman charged at Subai and the others. When Subai saw it coming, he immediately took out his sword to fight. Just as the Purple Birdman got near, Subai used his Phoenix Force sword division technique and swung with full power to attack the Purple Birdman. But the Purple Birdman quickly stopped himself, and then swung mid-air to attack Subai with its sharp wings. Subai ducked down to dodge its wings, but got cut on his arm. Seeing the blood dripping from his arm, Subai realized that this sound wave was too powerful, affecting both his speed and accuracy. His strength was now less than even early Foundation Establishment, and he couldn't overuse the Divine Avatar technique again, because using it repeatedly in a short time would shatter his soul. Subai now didn't understand what he should do next. That's all for today, everyone. Before we wrap up, I want to let you know that we've recently launched a membership program here, where you can enjoy perks like early access to videos and soon, exclusive content just for members. You'll also receive custom badges and emojis to enhance your interactions. If you're interested, consider joining our membership to enjoy these benefits. Check out the link in the description to join. See you all in the next video.